This is maybe why. So privatisation has famously gone on for many years, but it's out of control. The NHS, all the elderly care, now elderly homes, is pretty much all privatised. Our next, well, someone near us actually needed help recently. They were limited to 4 visits to care for our husband, and they're meant to be there for an hour. They'd go in for 10 minutes and sit on the drive. I watched them and sit on their phone. Private company. We know nursing is private, staffing, tech, IT, most things are being outsourced, but even treatment, physios, ambulances turn up, they're all private, or a lot of them now are private. Actually, our GP now is a private company. I think that's a small percentage nationally, but I can see that coming because they're pushing us down that road. It's now so poor. Pushing old people online onto computer systems, to book, and humiliating people at desks, receptionists doing the jobs of nurses. So yeah, the GP system is crashing like most of the NHS. But when you look into who's supplying them, out of the top 15 suppliers, by the way, obviously still UK and some good businesses, but they're still profiting. This is the NHS. Who is profit, like dividends, British or overseas? You're profiting from healthcare. I mean, anyway, of the 15, 13 are overseas owned. These are the countries I found that own the companies supplying the NHS. Top 15: USA, Sweden, Denmark, Japan, Switzerland, France, Israel, and then there's some UK ones. Let's look at councils, right? 8 of them, they don't go bust, but I think they issue a notice of some sort and effectively insolvent, right? And we all know that because they don't cut the grass. There's potholes everywhere. They're trying to make things that they're supposed to do just do. Now they're trying to turn into income. So they're turning into like businesses trying to make more money out of us. For example, to investigators, which I had recently. So that's what the councils are at. They're trying to act like commercial enterprises now. Instead of doing what they should be doing, and putting everyone under so much pressure, like the bins get thrown all over the road because there's no time to do anything. So obviously we know that 8 effectively were insolvent in the last few years, but of the top 20, again, private suppliers, major businesses, as there's less and less staff to do things, the things still need doing. So that's just the top 20, right? Hundreds of millions of pounds. At least 12 of them I found, the major corporates, are overseas owned, right? Taking our profit from the council overseas. USA, France, Germany, Japan, Denmark, Switzerland. I even found a private equity firms promoting investment in UK councils, which includes children's care. So that's tens of millions, as I believe I read, profit available for investors for children's healthcare. Trains in the UK, okay, from what we understand, that's getting taken back, but still, as it stands, and by the way, I've travelled all over Europe, easily the most expensive and the worst service anywhere, like disgraceful service, okay? Of those, the main guys, shock, yeah, I think we all know who they are, but German owned, Japan, France, Dutch. Water companies. No wonder they keep putting prices up and up and up, because they're private people, private fat cats want, so they can just say, well, we just put prices up, I don't care about these people anyway. And arguably, again, over 30 years, the worst waterways I've seen. There's a river behind me covered in sludge. Everywhere I go, we used to take our dog, used to go swimming in one place, covered in algae, dumping stuff in the seas. Worst waterways I can ever remember. Yeah. Overseas investment funds, most of them, with major involvement or ownership from Canada, China, Abu Dhabi, Australia, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Germany. Gas companies of the big 6, Germany, France, Spanish, Japan, Canada. Electric of the big ones, we all know the names, Germany, France, Spanish, Australia, Canada. Petrol, of course, you've got BP, but France, USA, Israel, India. Of course, nuclear, fuel is imported uranium, if I'm not mistaken. No expert. BAA, like one of the bastions of British, is it the biggest, or was anyway, biggest airport in the world and group of airports, fantastic. Now owned French, Qatar, Singapore, China, US, Canada, Saudi. The bus companies was German owned, now bought by a US firm. So that's US now and Australian. Quickly, telco. Do you know what? I don't have a problem. For the same reason I buy this shirt, this is from the USA, is that the thing with the telcos is that they you have a choice, right? So that's the beauty about telco. So I don't really, like anything, like I buy things that are from overseas, but that's my choice. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, BT is still, British business. But of course there's others, Dutch, US, but I don't have an issue with that, because I can choose which firm to use for this phone, but I can't choose who supplies the water to my house, can I? And I can't choose what train, when I get the train from London, I can't make a choice about train services. That's done for me. But shocking one, prisons. The prison service, the ones banging us up when it goes wrong. Well, not me, but yeah, when you slip up, right, you get banged up by the British system. Managed, okay, partly UK, but France and USA. Those big firms are the ones shipping you around and looking after you. Okay, again, for profit. Like, what's left after cost and everyone gets paid goes to fat cat and investment firms. The last one, hopefully I'll put up somewhere a picture of, because I've been taking pictures of them. The Royal Mail, the, famous red vans and bikes, the crest, the Royal Crest, now Czech owned, right? Probably a nice guy, I don't know. But have you seen the state of the vans? They are in a complete horrible state of disrepair. And the guy, oh, God love him, the postman, he stands at our door, we're holding the thing in the air, trying to get a signal for minutes because it's crap. The software's crap, it falls over. And now they're giving parcels, so now he has to do several deliveries a day running. So it's not like the old days that the post people could just do their thing, and that was quite a privilege, wasn't it? You could finish early. No, they're back out after hours in the vans that are falling apart, like rust buckets. I saw one the other day dragging, because there'd so many parcels, he had a trolley, like effectively like a shopping trolley with a red logo, like branding on it, with one of the wheels falling off, and it was scraping along the floor. And like the guys with the bags on the back, and they're overloaded with parcels now as they're trying to compete with all the parcel companies. Come on. Oh, and by the way, if I'm not mistaken, it used to be law that you couldn't argue if a letter came to your house. Well, to prove that now not the case, I have letters in my house that were for people I don't know. And I've kept one or two for evidence. I did post some, but the ones I didn't know where they were, I thought, I'm going to keep that for evidence, because I've heard that before, that the court can say, no, if someone's posted you a letter, it got there because it's Royal Mail. Well, I have the proof. It doesn't get there.